Welcome to the Country Hipster Podcast. My name is Paul. I am the Country Hipster. That music you heard was none other than the Unholy Four from Charlottesville, Virginia, and their hit song Dirty Knife, as made famous by the Country Hipster Podcast. Real quick, going to get to the business. Tomorrow, the 2nd of February, I will be playing at the Bristol AOH on Corson Street in Bristol at 7:30 p.m. And then Sunday the 4th, I will be at Wycombe Vineyards at 1 p.m. I'll be playing some music. That is the infamous spot of my wine and vinyl events for Ottsville Record Garage. But this time I am just playing music on Sunday. So I want to look to my left, and that's not Adam. This guy's much better looking. I want to welcome my co-host, the official bartender of the Country Hipster Podcast and the Ottsville Record Garage, Tom Burns Hard. That's what I made your name now. So let's give it up for Tom.
Close.
Yes,
Burns. Pretty good.
Burns Hard.
Better
So
than usual.
yes, I'm not going to say what burns hard, but something does.
Yeah.
So we've been talking about this for a little while on the podcast, but what we actually have here is the official hot dog water that friend of the podcast, Bob Hurst from Village Ale Works and band Bogside Rogues. We did a collaboration brew here. We've been talking about it. As you can tell, I was looking for a cheap beer that looks like piss.
Nailed it.
It nailed it. We got the piss color down. Especially like it's one of those things where it's like if your piss is that cloudy, there's probably issues.
Yeah, you're fucking dehydrated.
Yes.
Yeah.
But so go ahead and try it. I've tried it.
I have not tried it
Yes.
yet. So cheers. I was waiting until we were going, so in case I vomit or
Which-
really enjoy it, and then
Yes. So
the name of it also made me think when you were pouring it, I was waiting to see like chunks of fucking hot dog. So I was pleasantly surprised to see there's no chunks in it. But,
there are no hot dogs or even hot dog water in it. We just call it hot dog water.
goes.
So there you go. Tom is sipping, and now he will die in 30 seconds from the poison I put in his glass.
That's not bad.
Yeah, it's not. It's not.
I like that.
Yeah. So
Yeah. What's the approximate ABV on that?
4.7%.
Okay.
Yep. So it's a smooth drinking, easy drinker.
It didn't
very
taste like it was
crushable.
a big like a big one, but sometimes you never
I know.
fucking know.
I know, but
I
that's
had 11 percenters. It tastes like a Budweiser. Yeah. Then I get up and fall on the fucking ground.
But that's exactly what I was like hoping we would do. So what we brewed was a Pilsner. I forget what type of Pilsner. Bob knows I wasn't really paying that much attention. But we brewed a Pilsner. And then after it was in the fermenter, he actually lagered it. So there's a whole process to lagering a beer. I know it has to do with fermenting at a certain temperature. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but it's very specific. And which is why most people can't do lagers, because they don't have the right equipment or the right environment. What's that?
They're not Bob.
Right, they're not Bob. Yeah. Bob has the right equipment, so he actually lagered it. So it's a Pilsner that's like now a lager. It's real. I love it. It's got a little bit of sweetness to it. It's real easy drinking. It's
it's smooth. There's it's odd. There's zero aftertaste.
Yeah.
It disappears.
Yep.
Like you taste it when you're drinking it, but as soon as you swallow, it's over. Like you don't taste anything. It's very unusual. But
that's what I try telling them too, but they never believe me.
Yeah, I wouldn't believe you either. You look like a shyster. This is good though. You guys did well.
Yeah, no, and that was the thing. So I said like I want to make a shitty beer that looks like a shitty beer, and this looks like a shitty beer, but it does not taste like a shitty beer.
It looks like some shitty beers I've had over the years.
Yeah, but
I kind of dig the cloudy stuff. Like I like unfiltered beers anyway.
Yep.
So
this is good. This is good. So Tom, as I've done, and if you guys are wondering where Adam is, fuck Adam. No, we had a.
Oh shit! I was gonna say got to Adam because he's dead.
To Adam because we killed him.
Did he die?
Yes, he's dead.
Oh, okay, so no sad announcement.
No sad announcement.
Okay.
No. We so we usually film on Sundays. Yesterday was my fantasy football party, which Adam is in our fantasy football league. So like I did that instead of filming. So this is technically a random record episode, and we are doing Hot Water Music Exister.
Yeah, you nailed it. Look at you.
Cool. Look at that. But what we usually do when we have these random record reviews is I gotta interview my host.
Okay.
Or my guest.
Okay.
Or my co-host or whatever.
I feel like I owe an explanation too, because when you closed the last episode, you were like, yo, Tom tried to fuck me up by giving me some hard name to pronounce. You did well though. It's Dorina Harvey.
Okay.
They are a band I found during COVID. Like,
okay.
I was just listening to random shit. They're a Canadian band, Did you listen to any of their stuff?
I like kind of like when you said it, I kind of just went through it real quick. I'm like, all right, this is kind of neat, but I didn't like listen to it. Listen to it.
So I picked the wrong album. I picked an album that I love the album. They have 3 albums. I like all 3 of them. Their first 2, the first one, there's more originals. When I looked at that one, now I knew some of them were traditional songs. I know she didn't write fucking Galway Girl.
Yeah.
Like, I know that was Steve Earle. And I know she didn't write The Irish Rover, you know? But then I looked and there's maybe only 2 originals on it. And it was like, I didn't know that a lot of these, because I didn't know the songs, so I didn't know that they didn't write them. And I didn't think it was okay. I was like, okay, we gotta switch this up. And that's why I texted you. Unfortunately, it was right after you finished.
Yeah, but that's okay though.
You know, recording the last episode, so it's a little bit of a curveball. But anyway,
so one of our listeners, Megan, did actually message me. She's like, "Oh, you're doing Dorina Harvey." I'm like, "Okay." Spoiler alert! No, we're not.
Dorina Harvey band. Like you should go listen to them. She has a very powerful voice. I think somebody described her as like having a mighty voice, they said, and it just fit. They're very talented.
Nice.
But they're like a little tiny band, and it's great. Like, I bought their record, or I bought 2 of their records, and then they mailed them to my house. She's from, like, they're somewhere in Canada, and there was, like, a handwritten letter in there, like, thanking me for buying their music.
That's cool. That's cool. Well,
maybe
we'll have to put them on the list for season 2.
I'll give you a different album.
Yeah. We'll do that. We'll do that for season 2. So to our interview, Tom, how has life changed for you since being named the official bartender of the Country Hipster Podcast?
Oh, it's great.
It's great.
The royalty checks alone have allowed me to upgrade. I drive a Kia Sportage now.
That's very nice. What were you driving before?
Kia Sportage.
Oh, okay. All right. So you're still driving.
But I have a Country Hipster I have an Ottsville Record Garage sticker on my
country. Nice. That's
there's
cool.
that.
And
we were able to afford that with the royalty checks.
And we have new ones coming in, so that'll be cool. So they'll be here this week. So if you buy records from the Ottsville Record Garage, I send you stickers. And it has the new logo. So then you're saying
I do enjoy coming in here and making drinks and talking shit. Like, that's my favorite part of the show. Like, is trying to make Adam laugh and like make drinks like that. Yeah, I like hanging out with you guys and just bullshitting. No,
it's good. Well, after it's good to, like you said that too, because after, like, it's been a little while since you've been on, so it hasn't been since
the
like
Christmas
November.
episode.
Yeah, yep.
Which was we recorded before Thanksgiving.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, so it's been a couple months.
Yeah, so we looked through like the remaining titles, which I think we still have like 15 titles left, including what we're going to do next week. And 5 of those 15, so 1/3 of the remaining episodes are Booze and Vinyl episodes. So we'll have you in here.
Hopefully I can make them.
Yes, yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll work it out one way or the other. So you said like the royalty checks are great. So you're saying your tips have gone up?
Absolutely.
Since being honest, so like, and like when you're working at Tierno in on Hamilton Avenue in Trenton. Do people walk into Tiernog and say, "Oh, you're that guy from the Country Hipster Podcast"?
All the time.
All the time.
Okay. They're recognized at the supermarket. All the time.
Oh, that's great. So our 63 subscribers on YouTube, and our 30 on Spotify.
When I go to Bahrain, I get the fucking royal treatment.
Oh, nice. Nice. And so the other thing, as a bartender, are you, because of the podcast, are you now making more gin-based drinks?
Gin and Amaro, for sure. Yeah,
everything's
sure.
So actually, serious question though, what's your favorite drink to make?
I like making espresso martinis because I like drinking espresso martinis.
Okay.
I work at the Tiernanog, which is an Irish bar, so we have about 40 different Irish whiskeys. I make espresso martinis using Irish whiskey rather than vodka, because I don't think vodka brings anything to the table except for 40% alcohol. Mm-hmm. So I tend to use Jameson or Powers or something like that. They're my favorite.
Okay. Nice.
And I make a lot of them on the right. You get the right crew in there, I'll end up making 20 of them in a night. But
yeah. No, I remember the one night I was playing as before I went on to play. You were making quite a few of them before I went on. And people were specifically coming in being like, "Oh, can you make the espresso martini?"
Yeah, they know if I'm working, they can get them because I'm the only bartender there that will make them for them. So they have to come in when I'm working.
There you go.
And then we had a gypsy fight.
Yes, the gypsy fight. That was fun. Fun.
Interesting. I'm sorry, travelers.
Yes. But there's never a dull moment in the Tierno.
Well, this past weekend was pretty dull. I don't know.
It happens, though. It happens. So, all right. So, like I said, we are here to talk about Hot Water Music Exister, and I'm going to take the factoids over to Tom. So go for it.
I felt like I felt like I should have got a lumber pencil and like rubber band it to my head since I'm like sitting in his seat. I think big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
All right, so Exister.
Well, I think he's only like a size 10, so they're not that big.
That's true. I wear a 12. I wouldn't even be able to wear his fucking shoes. Okay. But he has very hipsterish shoes.
He does. He does.
So Exister by Hot Water Music. This is the 7th full-length album by Hot Water Music. It was released on May 15th, 2012. It was the first original full-length album that they released since 2004, which was called The New What Next. They had quite a hiatus there before they came out with the original stuff. It was released by Rise Records, which your favorite, Sum 41, was getting published by them.
Tremendous.
The Distillers, Flogging Molly, Alkaline Trio.
Okay.
Rise had a couple of good acts. I know that a lot of those have moved on since, but at one point. It was produced by Bill Stevenson, who you may know as the drummer, main songwriter, and the only constant member of the Descendants.
Okay.
Right? Everybody knows the Descendants. I know people that love them. I can't make it through a full record without skipping after a while because I just I don't understand why. I think something's broken in my brain, but they just don't do it for me.
That's one of those bands where like I know who they are. I know they got the Arlo character on like
Milo.
all of their things. Milo, yeah.
You would call him fucking Arlo.
Well, whatever. Arlo, Milo, it's the same thing. I actually couldn't tell you if I've ever actually heard the Descendants though.
I have so many friends that like them, and they play them on all the punk stations that I listen to, or if I listen to a Spotify channel, like it. Sooner or later, they're coming on. They're legends in punk music.
Right.
I just can't fucking do it.
Yeah.
I want to like them. I've tried so many times, and I just can't do it.
Yep.
So this album debuted on the Billboard charts on June 2nd. Okay, so a couple weeks later, 2012. Debuted at number 34 on the Hot 100.
Nice.
And the following week, it was fucking gone.
There you go.
That was it.
It happens.
It happens.
It happens. It does happen.
Yep.
So
those are my factoids.
Cool. So question. So why did you choose this album?
Because I like Hot Water Music.
Okay.
I saw Chuck Reagan. Actually, my daughter, her first concert, like big show we took her to, was this past summer at the Stone Pony, the summer stage. It was the Interrupters, and then they were opened. Frank Turner opened for them, and then Chuck Reagan, who's the singer for Hot Water Music, he opened the show and then he actually played with both of the bands afterwards too, which was kind of cool.
Oh, neat. That's cool.
But he, so I didn't go because he was going to be there. It's just one of those things. Like I had been listening to them recently a lot.
Okay.
Not this album in particular, but this album has a top 3 song for me from Hot Water Music.
Okay.
And so I like the album, and I hadn't really listened to the album in a while. It's been years since I just put this record on and just listened to it.
Right.
So yeah, that's why I just kind of pulled it. I went through I don't have vinyl like this, but I have, a decent amount of records in my living room on my bookcase, and I just kind of flipped through, and I was like, okay, this is the one.
Okay,
that's why.
Nice. That's cool. So I like this album. So so Hot Water Music I knew about.
Okay.
I definitely had heard, especially back in the day when I was like doing more like the emo and the indie rock type of thing. Like I definitely heard them, but I never really checked out Hot Water Music. Like I never really listened to them for no particular reason, and I just did it. You know what I mean? It was
I
just
understand.
one of those things.
I have plenty of bands like that myself. Like I'm guilty of discovering bands 10 years after they were fucking good, or half the members are dead or whatever, and I'm like, oh shit, these guys were really good. I should have went and seen them.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, so I very much enjoyed the sound, and it's actually pretty ironic that like we're doing it this week. Last week's episode was Sam I Am, which like not the same thing, but you could definitely draw a line from Sam I Am and that sound and everything that was going on there to Hot Water Music, especially this album here.
Yeah, they're not very. This is not an emo band, but emo is a weird problematic growth off of the punk music. So I get it.
Yes. What's funny is I did see them though. I saw them and I was actually excited to see them because they were opening up for Flogging Molly, and this was in 2005. This was at the Trocadero. And I'll be honest with you,
the Troc
up. This is the Troc.
I saw so many great shows there. I saw Guar there in a tiny little place.
I saw Guar there. Yes. That was actually one of my first shows. Was Guar at the Troc. It's just like I'll just go on a tangent there. So I was 14. My buddy Sean from the Unholy Four, he was there too. My brother Brian, had just recently gotten out of rehab.
Okay.
And so
the place to be is a Guar show for sure.
So he wanted to go, and his sponsor went, because his sponsor was in the Guar. And my mom said, like one of the things that got him able to, because he didn't have the full trust, was that I had to go. You know what I mean? To keep an eye on him, which I don't know how the hell I was going to keep an eye on him at a Guar show anyway. So, but I'm like 14 years old. It's the summer before freshman year. We walk in. We actually got there. Guar had already hit the stage. We got there a little bit late. So they're playing maybe a song in or whatever.
It takes them fucking forever to get on stage too, because Dave Brocky, Odorous, may he rest in peace as well. Rest in peace, Dave Brocky. Because he was probably busy smoking crack in the fucking alley behind the truck for 40 minutes.
Yeah.
That guy was a fucking maniac.
Yeah. But so we walk in and everything's dark and music. There's tons of people. Next thing you know, all four of us are like, nobody's with
they're all gone.
We're like, fuck. And
you gotta have a plan when you go in there. Like, I'll meet you guys at this street light after the show.
I get in. I'm like standing in the crowd. There's people around, and I'm looking around. I'm taking it all in, and I just happen to look up on stage right as a guy pulls his thumb off, and the blood just shot straight up. And I literally just watched it. I just watched it go and went straight down the front of me, and I was just like, oh, this is what this is. Yeah. Okay, all right.
It's a weird show too, because everybody wears just a white t-shirt.
Yes, which is what I did.
Yeah, you have to. There's always some white shirt, and then because I remember I saw him in '94, my senior year of high school at City Gardens. Same deal, and you come back and you're just covered.
Yes. Yep.
Everybody's red because they're spraying shit into the crowd.
Oh yeah, no, and at that point, like once that happened, I'm like, all right, this is what I'm in for.
broke the seal,
and it was great, and it was just awesome. It was a good time.
They put on a show like no one else.
Yeah,
they were so good. You don't even have to like their songs, but I like some of their songs anyway.
Yeah, no, they had good songs, but really the theatrics behind it too. It's just amazing.
The show is incredible. Yeah. It's worth the ticket price just to watch them perform the show.
Yep. So back to, I did see them open up for Flogging Maui's 2005. This is their Flogging Maui's
05 would have been Swagger.
No. It was the third album, Swagger and Drunken Lullabies, and then it was
one you play all the songs off.
Yeah,
of?
I play a bunch of songs off of. But
Within a Mile of Home.
Yes, Within a Mile of Home. Thank you. Yes. It was that tour, and like I said, I had heard Hot Water Music. I was interested in. I was like, all right, cool. That's one of the things that's kind of cool. I'm gonna see Hot Water Music, and they were actually kind of boring. Okay. It was disappointing. Like I saw them, so that did not make me want to look more into Hot Water Music. Again, it was one of those bands I'd heard of and I knew about, but I just never really gotten into. And I was just like, they weren't really that good. But then I also saw that they broke up in 2006 again. Because they had broken up in '98 and then got back together, but then broke up in 2006. So
that's why there was a big hiatus before. That's when this album came out. They had gotten back together and
they all worked some shit out and
they all shook hands and blew each other or whatever you have to do. I'm not in a band, so I don't know the inner workings. I just assume that's what you guys do. Which I'm not saying it. I'm not saying anything wrong with it. It sounds fun. But then this album came from the stuff that they had written, or in the meantime. They had a lot of music. They had a lot of music to put out because they hadn't been producing anything in a few years.
Yep. So, but no, this album, like I said, even despite seeing them and not being I didn't. They just, it's not that they were bad. They just weren't. They were just kind of boring.
I saw Tool. The first time I saw Tool, I was like, this is the worst show I've ever seen in my fucking life.
Yep.
Second time I saw them was better, but the first time I'm like, I don't want to ever see these guys again.
I saw Tool. They were the second band on Lollapalooza '93, so I got to see them at that, and they were amazing. And this was right after Rage Against the Machine got arrested for coming out naked and protesting the PMRC, because we got there with that Lollapalooza got there right at so what they did was we came out, we just walked through the gate right when they hit their chord to do the feedback. And then they just stood there, and me and my friend were walking. We're like, "What the? Wait, Rage is starting. What the fuck's going on?" And the next thing you know, we're like,
"Oh,
where'd they
go?"
Tool. Well, we're like, "That was weird. What happened?" And then afterwards, we're like, "Oh," because we weren't we the gate was pretty far back, so it's not like we could
Yeah.
see what was going on. We just knew like stuff was starting. But yeah, and then Tool came on. And I will say it was they were actually pretty incredible.
I saw him in like 99, 2000-ish, and
Okay.
it was really bad.
Okay.
And Maynard laid on the stage and cried for like 30 minutes.
Oh.
That was weird. And the band, I don't think, knew what to do, so they just kept fucking playing.
Yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do?
So a lot of people like were like, okay, I'm just gonna leave. Yeah, it was weird. I don't. He could have just been high as balls and like he went a little too hard before the show.
It
maybe
happens.
I don't know.
It happens. So.
I thought maybe you saw that mouse that was doing last week. The mouse.
Did you
doing,
like that?
Doing fucking.
Did you actually watch it?
I was listening to the show.
Uh-huh.
I was brushing my teeth and I had it playing, and I heard Adam point out the mouse. I'm like, oh shit! So I had to go back, and then I was like, oh, he parkoured right up the fucking wall. It was incredible.
It's a big fucking mouse too.
Yeah.
Like for a field mouse.
They grow them big out here.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is if you go a little, because I actually put
Apparently-
a comment on the YouTube. If you go a little bit, you actually see him stick his head up.
I didn't notice. I just saw him like go.
Yeah, he sticks his head up and it goes down, and about 30 seconds later, then you just see him like take off and like I'm like, oh, okay.
I was watching on a phone screen though, so like you know.
Yeah, but it was funny because he's like, yeah, I think a mouse just ran up the wall. I'm like, yeah, all right.
fucking nailed it.
It
Yeah.
probably did, but yeah. So if you look at the Sam I Am episode, right around like the 16-minute mark, you can see our the official mouse of the Yattsville Record Garage.
They get big out here eating fucking vinyl for breakfast or
Yeah,
whatever
exactly.
they eat.
Actually, believe it or not, I don't really, I see occasional like mouse droppings on like different things, but I haven't had any of them chew on any record cases that I know of. I mean, there's a lot of like ungraded stuff off to the
Then it's
side.
time for scorched earth.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. But yeah, no, I haven't seen them. Like I haven't noticed anything chewed on or anything like that. So they respect the records at least. The mice. They're just like, we just want to be warm and maybe get some morsels of like crumbs and shit like that. So.
My house is 120 years old, so when it gets cold, there's fucking mice in my
yeah,
basement. They can just come in whenever they want. There's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah,
So
what
I
are
have
you
to
gonna
trap
do?
a couple every year.
Yeah. So, well, that's why we have 3 cats now. So we had just the one cat, and he was doing well, but he's like, Alistair's like 12 years old, and when it comes to cats, he's a senior cat. So, so we're like, well, let's get a couple other younger cats. So we adopted the other 2 cats, which I think they're around like 2 or 3. So they're younger. They're not like kittens by any means, but they all like to hunt the mice. They all like they immediately became hunters, which is funny because Alistair, I've had him since he was a kitten, and it wasn't like I was like, oh yeah, you're gonna be a mouser. It happened more so when we moved here, when he's just like, all right, because he was never really in a situation where he had to like really like chase mice or anything like that. But now that we're in the country, he's definitely a mouser. He's definitely a mouser. But no, this album, this Hot Water Music's fucking fairly solid album.
Yeah, I love this album. I forgot how much I liked it until I listened to it and it like straight through again. And then I did the Adam method and I hit the just kind of
the repeat.
Well, no, I hit it shuffle,
yeah,
so
sorry,
it played them out of order because I'd only ever listened to it like front to back. And I figured out real fast which song I skip.
Okay. So I will say that this is a good in your face punk album, but it has depth and complexity. And these are like only like 2 to 3 minute long songs each. But like there's a lot that goes on in these songs. There's a lot that goes on even like with the recording. So you can tell they do some overdubs of like some different guitar stuff. The bass playing throughout is amazing.
The bassist is one of my favorite. Like him and the drummer, you can tell they are very like they know each other well. The two of them work fucking great together. And it's so underrated with this band in particular. Those two are fucking excellent.
Yeah, but no, and there's a lot of depth, and the lyrics are really well written, just great.
Yeah,
lyrics,
Chuck Reagan's
like,
he's a great writer.
Yep.
And I don't even know that he wrote everything in there. I know he's the main writer,
right?
But I think there are 2 other guys that contribute from the band as well.
The other band that this particular album made me think of that like I think you could draw a direct line to is Gaslight Anthem.
Oh yeah, they shop at the same store. But
it's funny because like
I think Brian Fallon is a better writer than Chuck Reagan is.
Okay.
Though. Like Gaslight Anthem is there's a little more to it with the lyrics. Like you can tell he spends a lot of time probably pulling his fucking hair out rewriting songs. I I don't think a lot of people do.
Yeah, probably not. But like I still the 59 Sound is still like my favorite album by
New
them.
Gaslight Anthem is good.
Is it?
The
I haven't
new one,
I
the new
haven't
one's
listened
good.
to it. Okay,
it's worth a listen. You can skip the song. The second one's got fucking Bruce Springsteen on it because obviously he's from New Jersey. You got to have Bruce on it.
yeah, absolutely.
You can skip that one, but the rest of the album's solid.
Nice. So another thing, like with Back to Gaslight, Brian Fallon did a thing with, there's a Philadelphia area ska band called Catbite, and he actually did a video with them where they do a version of a Cure song, close to me.
Okay.
Which it's just kind of funny, and like there's a video out for it. So if you look up Catbite and Brian Fallon, you'll see this video. They're all like makeup and all that kind of stuff, and it's actually really neat. They do a good version.
Do they take
of
the stage painted up like cats?
No, they don't. They
Okay,
don't. They do not.
that would have been incredible.
But they definitely have a like cat themed merch, excuse me, and all that kind of stuff, and they're good. I've seen Catbite now twice. They were actually Are
you gonna collab with Black Cat Stevens?
That'd be good, but no. They were recently on tour. They actually went on tour with Gaslight Anthem. They were
Okay.
on a fairly recent tour. And they most recently in the fall and like into December, right before Christmas, were on tour with the Bouncing Souls.
Nice.
Yeah, so
I love the Bouncing Souls.
I've
Also, I'm from New Jersey, so
Yes.
you have to fucking love the Bouncing Souls.
There you go. And I know they have a bunch of like shit coming up, which is really neat. But yeah, if you ever get a chance, if you like ska, and you like Philly area bands, check out Catbite. Great band. And I met the keyboard player, which is like they were really cool too. So it was it was good. It was and I got their one album I did buy at the show where I saw them. This is Croydon Fest, which is held at Broken Goblet.
Yeah, Broken Goblet.
They're not on the lineup for This is Croydon Fest this year, but they're like making like a whole like weekend out of it. It's like a Friday, Saturday,
They used
Sunday.
to jam 30 fucking bands on one day, and I can imagine what that's like.
Any of the bands that are playing, I'm actually not that interested. So we're not going this year because I was just like,
I can't do weekends anyway because of my schedule. But.
Yeah, but so we are skipping it this year. But like the last 2 years we went, I'm like, all right, cool. There's like a lot of bands that like I liked, and it's just one of those things. It's like either bands that I've seen before that I don't care if I see again, or I just don't like. You know what I mean? And it's all ska, but it's still a really good time. It's still So if you like ska and you like festivals, it's definitely worth checking out.
And I do.
So yeah. So what the fuck am I? Okay, yeah. So I am definitely looking forward to checking out more of Hot Water Music, especially since I really like Chuck Reagan's solo stuff, which you had mentioned. The cool thing about his solo stuff is, we were talking, I think, before we were on air. It's definitely his solo stuff to me feels like it's like stripped down Hot Water Music stuff. It's a little folkier and whatnot, but
it's Hot Water Music without the rhythm section.
Right. So, but if you take someone like Tim Barry, who we were talking about earlier, and we're covering on next week's podcast, he was the singer of Avail, and there's no connection between Tim Barry's solo stuff and what Avail does, but they're still in that same like folk punk, almost what the fuck is the name? What the hell? Oh, country outlaw type of sound, but not fully like country, but definitely that sort of feel. I really like, and I'll get into it more next week in the episode we're doing, which is actually, we have the album up there. We're doing Tim Barry Manchester. I really like Tim Barry's lyrics and whatnot. I do like the music. But I also like the Chuck Reagan. So that's actually where I discovered Chuck Reagan's solo stuff, was having like Tim Barry radio on on Spotify, like when I would be working.
They're similar sound.
Yep.
Tim Barry's a little more folky.
Yes, he's definitely folkier. Yes.
I was unfamiliar with Tim Barry when you guys pulled the record out of the box of Mike here. I actually had to look him up because I was like, I know that sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Never fucking heard anything he ever wrote before. So I listened to some of his stuff on Spotify.
Nice.
And it's okay. I could get with that.
Yeah.
It just take a little getting used to.
Yeah. Cool. What kind of beers we got back there? What do we got? What are we looking at?
Would you like a Sweet Baby Jesus, or you want banana bread?
take a Sweet Baby Jesus. There you go.
Sweet Baby Java, actually.
Oh, Sweet Baby Java.
So that's the twist on there.
Okay, so this is from Dew Claw Brewing from Baltimore, Maryland. It's a Sweet Baby Java, which is an espresso bean infused chocolate peanut butter porter. Ooh.
Yes. So I've had the regular chocolate peanut butter porter, which is the Sweet Baby Jesus.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay. So this should be interesting. I definitely have never had this. I think I've had the Sweet Baby Jesus, but like probably had it before like I ventured to beers beyond like PBR or Yingling or something, or High Life, shit like that. I still love those beers and they're still my go-to. Been drinking a lot of Lone Star lately.
I fucking hate Lone Star.
Oh, it's fucking delicious. I love it.
It's a Texas Budweiser, but
Pretty
it's
much,
like a cheaper version of Budweiser.
Yeah. I like it.
It reminds me of Hams.
I love Hams.
I don't.
I love Hams, but that's the shit I like. Narragansett, I love
Narragansett. I like most of those regional, the regional macro beers, like Natty Bo, like National Bohemian when you're in Baltimore, or Narragansett when you're in Cape Cod, or whatever, or the Hams when you're in fucking Wisconsin, or Lone Star in Texas.
Yep.
There's some shitty ones out there. Rainier is the one that comes to mind.
Rainier,
it's fucking terrible, but you can get it anywhere in the Northwest.
What is great was it was summer of 22? Yeah. Summer of 22. My oldest daughter was getting married, so we went out to Washington State because that's where she lives. It was me, Katie, and Jack, and Katie was pregnant at the time. We're out there for the wedding, and we went on Mount Rainier, and we went up to the main, like the first like visitor center thing. So it's still pretty far up, to the point where we were there in July and there was still snow on the ground, but not like it wasn't super up. And I have pictures on my Instagram of me and Jack drinking Rainier beer while standing on Mount Rainier. So,
that stuff reminds me. That's a second rate. That's a low rent PBR.
Oh yeah,
Rainier. It's fucking terrible.
Yeah. Oh man,
it's like
great, though.
Old style when you're in Chicago. Same deal. They're like or Iron City in Pittsburgh.
Yes,
same deal. It's like they're second rate beers.
Yeah. Well, that's like what the one time I went to Chicago. We went to this bar. And it was me. It was like a bunch of us that went. We went out to see the Phillies play the Cubs, and the night we were there, we just got fucking. The first night, we just got wrecked. But me and this one dude who was in the group, we ended up going down to Buddy Guy's jazz blues bar, and like we paid to cover win. Well, he it was funny. This is when I knew I wasn't in Philly anymore. He had like basically smuggled in a bottle of Chimay that he had gotten at the other bar we were at. Yeah. And so he's sitting there drinking it, and we're actually sharing it. And the bouncer walks up. He's like, "Yo, man, you didn't buy that here. You can't drink that here." And we're like, all right, we'll leave. He's like, no, I just got to take the beer. I'm like, oh, okay. He's like, yeah, go
Philly,
get...
I would have got thrown on my fucking beer.
He's like, no, I just got to take this and dump it. Go get some old school. And I'm like, all right, fuck yeah. So that's what
old style beer.
Old style, that's what it was, yeah.
Yeah, not a fan.
I mean, it's shitty beer.
I don't want to sound like a fucking fancy pants, but I'll drink them.
Yeah.
But if there's other options, I will probably take the other option.
No, I hear you.
If it's old style or nothing, I'll take the fucking old style.
It's it's funny because like as I do, my palate has definitely grown to different beers, but I still go back to that shitty beer. I'm definitely a wine snob though. There's definitely like certain things like I want, like when I started drinking wine, I was all about like the fruit wines and the sweeter wines and the sweeter whites, and I'm like, and like the more wine I drank, the more I tried, the more I like basically my palate turned into a dry red drinker.
Yeah, I have a strike zone with wine as well.
Yeah,
it's Pinot Noir, Malbec, Shiraz, like that sort of like they're all very similar styles, and that's like I find that's what I like. I don't fucking usually care for the much drier stuff. I like semi. Like I could do a semi.
Oh, semi-sweet. Yeah. So I do like some blends. Like there's some good blends out there. Like honestly, 19 Crimes, Snoop Dogg's Cali Red. It's delicious. It's a really good blend.
I'll try it.
It's they actually had Snoop Dogg bought Death Row Records. And right, Snoop, you bought Death Row, yes. And so they actually
just to rub it in fucking Suge Knight's face.
And they have Death Row Records wine. And so the first one they put out was a red wine. So I bought 3 bottles. I have 1 bottle left, which I'm saving. I don't know what I'm saving it for, but I'm saving it for something. Because did we get 3 or no? We got 4 bottles. So the first one, like right when we got it, me and Katie drank the first bottle. The second, so it's fucking delicious. It's great. It's great. And it wasn't bad. It was like $25 a bottle. It wasn't like cheap, but it wasn't super expensive.
Yeah.
but it's a decent. It's different than the Cali Red. I have a feeling it's probably produced by 19 Crimes, and just I mean, I didn't look that far into it because he has like the stuff that he does with 19 Crimes between the Cali Red that has his face on it, and then he hit like there's a Martha Stewart. Like I saw a Chardonnay, which isn't bad either. You know what I mean? So I think 19 Crimes is out of Australia. They do some good stuff, and their labels are neat because you do like you put your camera up to it. And, the people come to life and start talking and shit. It's pretty cool. But no, the Cali Red's good. Excuse me. So I do like the blends, but like generally, which the blends tend to be a little bit softer, a little bit sweeter because they tend to have a different. Obviously, they're blends, so they'll have different grapes in there. But like, I can't like now. Like, I won't drink a fruit wine. You know what I mean? Like, I won't go to the super sweet stuff. I still like a Riesling, but I like a dry Riesling. If like when it comes to whites, if there's like a Traminette, I don't want it. I don't want to try a Traminette anymore. Yeah,
I've had my fill of them.
Yeah, and it's just like even like Vigneault's, which is another like sweeter white. I try to stay away from them, but like I'm much more of a dry red drinker. Whereas like beers, like this is good. I do enjoy this. And this is nice that the peanut butter is like light. It's not like
I didn't even notice it at first. Yeah, I had to take I drink a whole one before you even realize it.
Yeah, right. I can get it, but it's like it's not like in your face peanut butter, which is nice. 'Cause sometimes when you get into these like these infused beers, like it's too much.
I taste the chocolate in the espresso. I don't really taste the peanut butter, but
yeah. But this is nice and it's smooth. And it's like 6.2%, so it's not overly heavy. Yeah. But like I'll still like I'll drink hot dog water.
No, you guys did well on that. I like that.
Mm-hmm. It was good. It was good. So what other feelings do you have about this album?
I love this album. I forgot how much I liked it. I mean, there's a couple songs on it. I'm like, okay, whatever. I was dicking with my phone a minute ago because I wanted to look it up when you mentioned how like songs are 2.5, 3 minutes long. The whole album's only 38 minutes.
Yeah. Yep.
Like I know that because I listened to it twice on the way here, skipping one song because I've heard it enough times. But I generally like this album. I liked it when it came out. Forgot it existed for a while, except for the one song. The one song is like always on my Spotify. Like I have a playlist that's like 600 songs. Right. I shuffle through, and there's I hear it from time to time.
Nice.
My favorite song on the album.
Cool. Yeah, no, it's and it's again this album has me because I didn't necessarily write off Hot Water Music. I just wasn't like kind of like if I get around the Hot Water Music.
I was never like into them anyway. Like, I was like, okay, these guys are okay, and that was it, and that was the end of it. I never,
But yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna like actually like look into more Hot Water Music now from listening to this. So I appreciate you bringing this album on here. The only thing I do feel bad about is like I know we did set this like a week ago. I really didn't have time to delve into this as much as we would for like a normal scheduled episode, so to speak. But like I still did listen to it a few times. I was able to pick like my top 3 and my bottom 1. But more importantly, I don't usually get the chance to play this stuff for Regina.
I was wondering about the Regina factor when you asked me what I thought of it.
Yes,
that is irrelevant.
Yes, it is totally irrelevant. I did actually get a chance to play this for Regina.
Okay.
We got a chance on Friday. And I played it for her twice, and both times she immediately fell asleep.
Okay. So in your fucking face, Adam. She didn't hate it.
She didn't hate it, so I would have it go down as an indifferent. But when we went food shopping on Friday, I was like, all right, cool, let's put this on. And so we get in the car, I put it on. And like halfway down the road, I look back and she's out. I'm like, okay, whatever. So
I heard it here first. The fucking album is a snooze fest.
Yeah. So I'm listening to it, and then we get done our food shopping, and she was a little rammy because it was a little bit of a longer trip for us. And so I put it on again. I'm like, all right, cool. Let's see what happens here. The fact that she was a little rammy, I felt would probably give me a better real idea of what like does she hate it or does she like it? And she fell asleep immediately. So I'm like, okay, all right, she's indifferent on it. So so that would be the Regina factor on it.
I like that we got a Regina factor on this one.
Yeah, which like I said, we don't always get the opportunity to do that with the random records. So I was happy that we were able
absolutely
able to do this one.
Oh, I forgot to mention something too. When I was listening to last week's episode, I noticed that you made claims several times to being basically the godfather of Philadelphia emo.
Yeah, no, I've listened to it too.
I
and
didn't
I'm like,
realize that I was in such fucking
no.
in the presence of greatness.
Yeah, well, that's all right.
You
so
basically invented emo in Philly.
I kind of did, but like it wasn't just me.
Loved it.
It was, I thought about that. I'm like, oh god, I am like probably talking us up a little too much, but like it wasn't. Nothing I said was untrue necessarily,
Right.
because there really were like there weren't bands doing what we were doing at the time in this area. There were tons of bands doing what we were doing.
Godfather of Philadelphia
but
emo.
like there really weren't, because like we were playing with a lot of like Christian punk bands or sometimes metal bands. Like our first show was like at the Friends in China, the Friends. So
Never went there.
it was an interesting place that let underage
heard
kids drink. So
You were telling the story of it, and
Yeah.
like, oh, okay. I don't remember the place, but also I'm not from Philly.
yeah,
so.
yeah. But like we ended up we opened for a metal band, like a Philly metal band called King's Ransom, and they were like it was 95, 94, 95, summer of 94 maybe. So they were like, they didn't realize that hair metal was gone. You know what I mean? So that's what they were doing. But
Yeah, they hung around. The hair metal, the 80s didn't die until like 94.
Yeah. So they were still, they were still trying to do that. But like that's like, we were playing with them and a lot of punk bands, and it took until like I said, till like the guy Rick would be like, all right, I don't know who to put with this band, and you know what I mean? Cool, I'm gonna put Disunion with them. So we're like, all right, fuck yeah, we'll do that. We'll open with these band or play with these guys, and unfortunately, like I said, the biggest mistake that we made was not leaving Philadelphia.
That's fair.
Not going on tour, not doing little regional tours, because like we were definitely right place, right time, right sound, probably the wrong cast of characters.
And you denied the world the opportunity to see
did.
Paul.
We did.
With a fucking emo haircut.
Exactly. Well, it was just not actually
Skinny
much
jeans
different.
and a fucking emo haircut.
Actually, I wore baggy jeans.
We all missed out on it. It's a shame.
I have videos. I'm not posting them, but I do have
I
videos.
saw one of you guys playing in like a fucking gymnasium at a YMCA.
Yeah, well, we
I
played.
remember you playing.
We played at the Frankfurt Y.
You were all skinny and like looked like you were 12.
Yeah, which is funny because it's actually the same. The first time Fugazi played in Philadelphia was at that Frankfurt Y, the same one that we
I remember
played
you
at.
talking about that with the Fugazi episode.
Yeah, but I mean that's the thing. There really weren't like in this area there weren't bands doing it, and eventually they did, and it caught on, and you know what I mean, and that's good. But no, it was cool. We got a lot of good opportunities to play with some like neat bands, and like we were playing like. We played the Stalag 13, which is gone. Stalag 13, another cool like DIY.
Didn't know that one
West
either.
Philly punk. Like it literally was this dude's house. And we were the opening band for Piebald and Jejune. And Piebald's from Massachusetts. They're still
I don't
around.
know who Piebald is. I've heard of Jejune though.
Yeah, and Jejune was on tour from San Jose, and it's like, all right, cool, and we opened for them, and like 2 days later at that same club, we didn't play the show, but Jimmy Eat World was playing there. You know what I mean? So that's the time we were in, and the area that we were at, and like I said, it was cool. But no, we weren't. I know. I like realized I'm like, man, maybe I'm talking it up too much. But then again, what do they say? When it comes down to it, if you got to print the truth or the legend, you print the legend.
Obviously.
So yes. So we were the guy. Yes, Disunion was the godfathers of Philadelphia emo music.
Emo.
There you go.
You gotta get a tagline too. I mentioned for the show. You gotta be like the Country Hipster Podcast, redefining the word season, or like, how, you know what I mean? Like, because season 1 is gonna go on for 16 months. And I like that.
It's gonna be like June. It's good, like because I figured it out like between.
And you started in March, right?
We started in March.
Yeah. This is gonna be.
Yeah, actually, we did. We recorded the first episode the first weekend of March, the first Saturday or Sunday of March. We recorded the pilot, and my initial thought was that we were going to release the pilot like end of March, beginning of April. Okay, and then but we had already started right after after St. Patrick's Day. We had started recording episodes. So my initial plan was let's release the pilot at the end of March, beginning of April. And then we'll be a bunch of episodes ahead, and the first episode will come out like the second week of May. And so,
like all good plans, it went to shit immediately.
Well, because Jack was like, "No, if you put the pilot out,
idiot, you got to do it.
The thing is, too,
you can't have a break.
He didn't tell me that until after the fact, because then maybe I would have he's like, yeah, pilot's done. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm gonna put it out and publish it, whatnot. And I'm like, all right, so. the next day he's like, no, we're going to do the next episode next week. I'm like, why the fuck didn't you tell me that? Like, I would have waited to do the pilot then, but he's like, oh, no, man, once you go, you go.
So fucking Bahrain are waiting.
Yeah,
you don't
I know.
Keep them waiting.
I know. Exactly. So I did figure it out, like, and because I know there's going to be at least 2 random episodes in March that I'm going to have to deal with because my schedule's fucking crazy in March.
Oh, yeah.
And there's probably, like Easter. We're not going to record on Easter, so there's going to be at least 3.
St. Patrick's Day is a Sunday this year, too.
It is.
That's going to be fucking brutal.
Yeah, it is. But so we're probably going to finish up season 1 sometime in June.
I like that. Redefining the word season.
Yeah, it was. And it's funny because someone asked me, was like, well, what's your plan for season 2? I'm like, well, we might do less records.
Yeah. might have a little structure. Who knows? Maybe a schedule, perhaps.
Yeah, we might. No, we're not gonna have a schedule. I like the random pull thing, but
So I'm not just dicking with my phone while you're talking. I meant to mention it earlier. Hot Water Music is on their 30th anniversary tour this summer. Mm-hmm. And I've got a ticket. I'm going to go see them on Thursday, May 9th. They're playing at Underground Arts on Callowhill Street. Yes. Just a heads up in case anybody likes they listen to the record and they like it and they want to see them. Go support them. Ticket was only like $35, and it's not Ticketmaster, so you don't get fucking fingered a little while you're trying to buy a ticket.
So I was
playing with Quicksand.
Right. So that's the thing. I was on the fence about it, and it was before listening to this album, and I was like, I've seen Hot Water Music, and they were kind of boring.
It's a Thursday night show too, which is weird.
Yeah, but
and it's 4 fucking days after I see Bad Religion and Social Distortion.
But then I saw Quicksand was on the bill. I'm like, oh man, I've never
seen Quicksand live either. And so I'm very interested in seeing Quicksand.
But I didn't get tickets, and I'm glad because also that night on May the 9th at the TLA, I'm going to see Sunny Day Real Estate.
Fair. That makes sense.
Who are doing the 30th anniversary tour of the album Diary and are playing it in its entirety.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
So that, which I was like, oh, and it's at the TLA, which is a little bigger than Underground Arts. Have you ever been there to see a show?
I believe I have. 500 seats, maybe 600.
I don't even think it's that.
Maybe
many.
not.
I don't think it's. I think the TLA is maybe 500 or 600, and the Underground Arts is smaller.
I've been to TLA. It's been a while since I've been to the show at a TLA.
Yeah,
I always liked the TLA.
TLA is good spot, but like Underground Arts, man, it's a great place to see a show, and it's a. You're in for a treat just being there, and that's the other thing too. It's kind of like, man, how crazy is that place going to be during Quicksand? Because it's a smaller place and the dance floor. Oh my God, it's going to be. It's because of Quicksand. I was like, I'm on the fence and and then I even think like because they're playing somewhere like towards like Hershey, they're playing a brewery. I think like
that would be cool
on Saturday. Because they're on tour with it. I'm like, do I want to go to that? Which is also one of the reasons why I was like on the fence. But then when the Sunny Day Real Estate when that came up, I'm like, nope, I'm going to that.
I'm busy.
Yeah, well, it's funny. It's funny. I walk in. Because like I don't make any money. I'm broke as fuck. Katie makes all the money and controls all of our finances of any money.
You don't get any of that sweet Weiss Markets fucking money?
Any what?
Any of that sweet supermarket money?
No, I don't get any of that. So
they cut you out, huh?
Mm-hmm. So when I saw the Sunny Day Real Estate thing, I just messaged her because she's working in her office. I'm like, can I buy tickets for Sunny Day Real Estate?
Can
tomorrow?
I have $50?
Yeah. Well, I was like, it's funny because I was like, my limit's like $50. If it's more than $50, I'm not getting tickets.
I paid through the fucking nose to see Bad Religion, and I am an asshole for doing it. And I couldn't help myself.
Yeah, hey.
But anyway, sorry. So the limit's $50.
But then like the pre-sale comes up and they're $59, and I was like, they're $59. Can I get them? I'm like a little kid asking my mom,
please.
Can I get like $9 more ticket?
I'll do the dishes.
Can I get it? Can I get the tickets? And she's like, yeah, get the tickets.
Yeah, get the ticket.
Get the fucking tickets. Why are you asking me?
$9. What are you talking about?
Yeah. So she and I are going to that, and I'm really excited about that. I saw Sunny Day Real Estate before, and this was on one of the times they got back together, and they only played Circles off a Diary, and like
I'm not familiar with a lot of their work. I think I've maybe heard 2 of their songs. Okay, I will check them out though because I know if you like them. Well, you have a very diverse.
I have a
music taste.
I'll
check them out. I might hate them, but
you might. But no, and so like they did Circles, and then people kept yelling out, play this, all stuff off a Diary, and they're like, no, we can't play that. No, we can't play that. So it's like, what the fuck you mean you can't play it? Like what do you So I am really excited to see them do Diary, and it's like, cover to cover, and I'm pretty excited about that. I've only gone to one other concert like that where a band has done that, and that was Not a Surf played Let Go. from beginning to end. And I'm not a huge Not a Surf fan, but I do love that album. And they put on a great show too. They came out, they did the album like straight through, cover to cover, and they're like, all right, give us 5 minutes, and then they went off stage, came back like 10-15 minutes later, and like just did like another like hour and a half of like all like their other shit too. So nice. I was very impressed and did enjoy it. And like I said, Let Go is probably my favorite Not a Surf album. So it was cool seeing them do that. So this is, like I said, this is only the second time I'm seeing something like this. And I know a lot of bands are doing that where they're like, oh, it's the anniversary tour of this album and stuff like that. And it's like, all right, cool. Which is one of the things when Gaslight got back together. They did a tour of 59 Sound where they played it. Yeah. And I think when they were touring, my kids were in town because they lived on the West Coast. Well, all three of them lived on the West Coast. So those guys were in town. So I was like, yeah, I can't go to see it. So otherwise, I probably would. I think you had asked me to go. Somebody else asked me to go. They're like, oh, no, I know you like 59 Sound. I was like, yeah, no, I can't.
Yeah, we saw him. I couldn't see him at the show that was closest to my house because I had to work that night. But then we saw him the following Friday or the Friday before at that was when you and Adam were at the show with us. We saw
yeah. That was cool. Yeah. When we saw,
that was the last.
That was a good time.
I think that was the last time I saw. I've seen Gaslight like 3 times in the last year and a half.
Okay, nice. That is the only time I saw him was when we went to Bethlehem to see him, and that was a good time. That was
the opener sucked a lot. And
yeah. There you go. All right, so Tom, what are your top 3 songs?
My top 3.
Yes.
Drag My Body.
Okay.
Is my one of that's a top 3
like all
hot
time.
water music song.
Okay. All right.
I fucking love that song.
Mm-hmm.
It's always been one of my favorites since the first time I've heard it. So my top 3, it's Drag My Body, and then I Pledge War Thin and State of Grace.
Okay.
Those are my top 3 on this album.
Okay, cool. So I have State of Grace, Drag My Body, and then my 3 is a slash. I got 2 that are my 3. One is Pledge War Thin and Mainline. Because I think it's a really good starter.
And it's a good way to lead off the album.
And I have an honorable mention even to that to Take No Prisoners. Yeah, you know, and that's what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 songs that like I can say are like top songs, and there's only like 12 songs on this album.
Yeah,
like
I had
that.
it open.
And,
I forgot I got my
like,
ticket out now.
Yeah, so and it was cool. So like I was just like, all right. And there were other songs I liked too. Like I had to like even today when I was putting like my notes together, I had to go back. Wait, what is this one again? What is this? You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm like, oh yeah, no, I really like this. And I'm like, I think this is my least favorite. And I would play. I'm like, oh no, I do like this fucking. You know what I mean? So
yeah, it's a solid album. There's like 3 songs that I'm like,
yeah.
There's one I openly just don't like.
Okay.
The other 2, it's just yeah.
Okay. So what is the one you openly do not like?
Openly do not like? Boy, You're Gonna Hurt Someone. That was my least favorite on this album.
Okay.
I don't even know why I don't like it, but that's the song that gets skipped every time I play it through.
Okay, I think that was one of the ones I was toying with the dishonorable mention of like, you know, least favorite.
Yeah.
But like but it didn't. So and again, I think if I had more time to put like really into this or like really delved into it, I probably could have done a better selection of like a least favorite kind of, you know what I mean? The top ones were just easy. It was just like bang.
There's songs that they're on my playlist for a reason because you know they're fantastic fucking songs.
So mine, and the reason I'll tell you the reason why, it's No End Left in Sight.
Okay, and that's fair.
The reason is because it reminds me of a Queens of the Stone Age, and Queens of the Stone Age aren't bad. They're just overrated. I don't you know I think people like Queens of the Stone Age because Dave Grohl played drums on like the first album or whatever it is, and they're not bad. They're not, you know, they're just
they don't do anything for me.
But like that song, I'm like, man, this sounds like fucking Queens of the Stone Age.
One of the songs on the album, I cannot. I'm terrible with the names of songs though. That's the thing. I have to like stop, like pause the fucking thing and like write down the name of the song. Like this is my song.
Yeah.
The one song sounds exactly like a fucking cult song, and I can't.
Okay.
I will figure this out.
Yeah.
Next appearance you're gonna get, be like, hey, you remember 3 months ago when I was on? I'll figure it out on the way home.
Nice. So do you have anything else to add to your thoughts on this album?
No, man. Thanks for having me. I'm glad you dug the album too. That's cool. That makes me feel good.
Yeah, no, like I said, I really appreciate you, number one, being on and then suggesting the album, and again, like I'm now going to go look at more hot water music that I probably should have been looking at when I was the godfather of emo music in Philly. I should have been looking at it more
Look
then.
at you now, though. Now you're just redefining how many episodes you can put in one season.
Exactly. It's amazing.
Cutting edge of something all the time.
We're going to hit 100 episodes in season 1, and we'll be right into syndication.
Love
right
that.
away.
Yeah, straight into syndication,
Straight
baby.
into syndication.
Right there. Here we are, baby.
Yes.
We're hitting big time.
So since this is a random episode, we do not have anything to pull from the box of Mike because we did it last week. So make sure you tune in next week where Adam and I will be discussing the Tim Barry album Manchester, which is right up there. It was one of my picks. I got a hat trick going on, so I'm pretty excited about that. And I think that's it. You got anything else?
No, man, I got nothing.
All right,
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. Now it's time to...